And I don't know if you've seen the show. It's called Sister Wives. It's a little, I'm like, wow, I can't believe they're even having this on. And it is about polygamy. So, I just wondered if, what you all thought of it. So, and Jim Jones, wow, he was something else. And we did discuss Scientology a little bit. And the founder is known to have said of Scientology, if a man really wants to make $1 million, the best way to do would be start his own religion. Well, there you go. L. Ron Hubbard. Now, his books of the end of the world, I mean, they were good. But to start Scientology, I think that was I don't know. What do you guys think of Scientology? There's a lot of people. Leah Remini, is that her name? Leah Remini? She's very outspoken about it. Yeah, so is Tom Cruise, obviously. And Scientology is based on Hubbard's system of Dianetics, which he called the modern science of mental health. Dianetics was supposed to be an alternative to modern psychology, which Hubbard claimed was lacking. But according to those who've left the cult, the core tenets of Scientology are hidden from members until they attain a certain level in the cult. And the earliest stages involve manipulation, which represents the true identity of a person. Manipulation of this force helps get one clear through an auditing process by higher-ranking members, of course. Thetans are also a race. It's called Thetans. The early state, the manipulation of theoretic life force energy, theta, your life force. Thetans are also a race which created the universe for their own enjoyment. But at higher levels, members are introduced to the story of Xenu, a tyrant who rules the Galactic Confederacy. This is, wow, how could you even think this? A Galactic Confederacy. Okay, I don't know. And this revelation has caused members to leave the cult, while the Church of Scientology's heavy-handed tactics, lawsuits, isolation, they have kept many members in line, but also served to maintain a conspiracy of silence among former members for fear of legal retribution. Okay, there you go. It's a force to be reckoned with. It really is, and because it's so big. It can be argued that Church of Scientology, it's recognized by the IRS as a church for tax purposes. Are you kidding? Italy, Spain, Portugal, Taiwan, and a number of other countries have recognized Scientology as a church. What do you think? Is it a church or is it not? Okay. At the same time, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Belgium, Greece, and Canada have deemed Scientology to be a cult, and they refuse to recognize its legitimacy. I have to agree with that. There are people, now Leah Remini has really spoken out about this. She's on a show, and I can't think of what it is. If anybody knows of it, please let me know, because I cannot think of it. Very outspoken. I think they really brainwash people through their methods of, cleansing them, so to speak, in this. And you have to go through different, the higher orders. What do you think? Cult or not? Scientology. Cult or not? I think it is. That's my opinion. So, but I'm interested to see what everybody thinks. Okay. We're going on to the Unification Church. This is another big one. The Moonies. Maybe that helps. The Unification Church. They were also known as the Moonies. This is a cult founded by the Reverend Sun Myung Moon, born in what is now South Korea. He claimed to have had a vision when he was 16 that Jesus Christ did not finish his work on earth, having perfect children, and he, Moon, should carry on Jesus' work. preaching on behalf of this new faith in the wake of the Japanese withdrawal from Korea at the end of World War II. He was arrested and put in a North Korean prison camp, but he escaped when the U.S. overran the camp and made his way to America and became a Presbyterian. He was excommunicated from the Presbyterian Church in 1954, and he founded the Holy Spirit Association for Unification of World Christianity. And Reverend Moon told his flock that only he could choose their marriage partners, but they had to be in the church for 7 years first. And because he became infamous for his mass marriage ceremonies. By the 70s, Moon, he was a successful businessman, and he had remained the cult of Unification Church and moved to New York City, where he gained too much attention. He had parents filing lawsuits against the cult, publicizing their attempts to deprogram their brainwashed children. And the IRS got involved, of course, and they, led to a tax evasion conviction. And the church still exists. But the Reverend Moon died in 2010, but it's still going strong. What can you say about that? Yeah, he was in it for the money. That's I think that was a baseline for that. And, his mass marriages and all, but only he could do that. I think it's, again, that these so-called leaders, they hide behind these allegations that they had visions and they're prophets and they know this and other things too. They hide behind that so they could use these cults for their own means to make money. For one, they're rich because people give all their stuff to them or whatever they do. It's known as a New Religion Movement, NRM, and has sponsored organization and projects over the years. His widow has assumed the leadership of the church. But, the church has a textbook, The Divine Principle, and the blessing ceremony of the Unification Church is a wedding or a wedding vow renewal ceremony, is a church tradition. It has attracted controversy, of course. The church has engaged in interfaith activities and other religions. So it has been the subject of controversy, of course, over its beliefs, which differ from traditional interpretations, and have been called heretical and anti-Semitic by critics. It has also been criticized for its involvement in politics, in the support of government of South Korea. Really? Come on. And it was investigated by the committee in 1977. It has been accused of brainwashing its members, which led to some subjects to be deprogrammed. Other controversial events include Moon's 82 conviction, filing false federal income tax and criminal conspiracy, and the 2000 wedding of Roman Catholic Archbishop Malingo to a Unification Church member. So again, they have their own rules. And they do, basically, these people do what they want. They figure it's their, it's a new religion, it's them, they're the leaders, they can do what they want. So, there you go. Can they? Should they be able to? I don't think so. But until they decide what is and what isn't allowed, I mean, look at polygamy. Okay, what can you do about that? I don't know. Okay. his widow is running the Unification Church. Okay, they have certain beliefs and they do these mass, marriages, but they pick them and this and that. Is that? I think it's just a way for them to get over on the people. I can't put into words what I want to say. They use it for their own personal gain or whatever they want. So, they have the power and they brainwash these people. So, let's talk about that a little bit. Brainwashing. What do you think? And it basically refers to the unethical use of persuasion methods with the aim of recruiting people to joining a cult or cause. Nowadays, it's not called brainwashing. It's called psychological manipulation, coercive control, undue influence. Okay? Actually, the technical definition is a forcible indoctrination to induce someone to give up basic political, social, or religious beliefs and attitudes and accept the regimented ideas. Okay? You're making them. Sociologists, cult experts, and others are sharply divided on this, and I can understand why. Some see brainwashing as plausible explanation of why people join and remain in cults or in abusive relationships. Others call it junk science. Okay? Brainwashing theories are hotly contested by so-called cult apologists. Usually they're defenders of the groups and movements. Usually from within. Of course, they're going to dispute that. A professor of psychology at Stanford University, as well as former and current president of the American Psychological Association, is illustrated by this professor. The remarkable thing about cult mind control is that it's so ordinary in the tactics and strategies of social influence employed. They are variants of well-known psychological principles of conformity, persuasion, framing, emotional manipulation, and others that are used on all of us daily to entice us to buy, to try, to donate, to vote, to join, to change, to believe, or to hate the enemy. It's a known practice. Cult mind control is not different in kind from these everyday varieties. Commercials. It's kind of a brainwashing. They want you to buy their product, and they'll do what it takes for you to buy it. But the difference is the intensity, the duration, and the scope of the brainwashing, so to speak. One difference is in its greater efforts to block quitting the group. High exit costs. Induced phobias of harm, failure, and personal isolation. So they use these tactics to keep the people there. Once they're in, they want to keep them there. They don't want them going out and telling people about this. So, many groups use unethical practices or tactics in recruiting and retaining their members. They can range from love bombing to scare tactics. And while this psychological manipulation is a form of mind control, the people inside that are defending the group or cult, they don't hold the view that individuals who join or remain with the cult movements become irresponsible, unable to think for themselves. Of course